We live in a world that's more and more connected than ever, thanks to the internet and social media. But these things that help us connect can also turn into a place of hurt and horror for some. Children and young people are especially at risk. The Archewell Foundation, launched by Prince Harry and his wife Meghan, are behind a special project to try to stop online bullying. Just look at the hashtag, no child lost to social media. This will give you more if you need help or information. We'll be speaking with a parent whose daughter took her own life. She blames it on social media, and she started a legal case against the social media giant Meta, owner of Facebook and Instagram. Well, let's talk about Meta for a little now, facing many cases at this present moment. And on another one of those, a Meta spokesperson said the company has fixed many of the problems identified in 1 month alone. Meta said it disabled more than 500,000 accounts for violating child safety policies. Let's bring in Tammy Rodriguez from the Parents Network. Tammy, thank you for being with us. This is a difficult interview for you to do, I know, because of what happened to your daughter. Can we start by perhaps you introducing her to us? Tell us her name, tell us what she was like.
Of course. My daughter, Selena, she was a bright ray of sunshine. Anybody that knew her, that's what they think of when they think of her. From when she was little, right on until, the end. She was the one who always stuck up for the underdog. She always wanted to be the one helping people. And then she met social media.
Tammy, as you're talking to us, we're showing images of Selena. She looks like a beautiful little girl. It's incredibly sad what has happened. When did you notice the change in her?
Well, she was just about 8 years old when I had gotten her the phone. In the beginning, it was just to go on YouTube Kids or some of the other games, and things were fine. It was about a year and a half into it when she found the social media apps and she started going on them. I had parental controls in place. I would check the phone, but they all start to work together. The kids all teach each other how to hide things, how to hide apps inside of apps, or just how to hide anything that they know they shouldn't be doing.
I hear where you're coming from. I've got children myself, and I know a little bit about having to try to protect them from these kind of things. What you've been through is far more extreme than anything I've ever experienced, and I can't imagine how you feel right now, how you feel about what has happened. I imagine there's a lot of anger there.
Yes.
Do you ever blame yourself?
I do. At times I blame myself for buying her a phone so young. But just so many kids her age at that time, that's what was happening. We actually did start with a tablet. I should say that. I apologize. And then it went up to the iPhone and went on from there.
What kind of things were happening to Selena?
So as her addiction got worse, which at the time I didn't realize was an addiction, her mood changes were terrible. She became very aggressive. She would attack myself and my older daughter, physically. The words that she would use, it just changed her into an entirely different child than who she was.
Was this a question of bullying or a question of behavior from her friends? Or what was the actual story behind that?
So I, at the time, believed that it was only bullying from kids that she knew, maybe some other people online. But it was after the fact was when we found out that she was being exploited online, and I had no idea.
This is incredibly sad, tragic, what you're telling us, Tammy, and it's clearly important for other parents to get help. I'm wondering at this stage what Meta has said to you, because you've brought a legal case against Meta to press forward to try to make sure no other child suffers what your daughter went through. What has Meta said to you?
Our family is actually the first family that filed, one of the first families that filed in the U.S. And I've heard nothing from Meta myself. I was there in Washington for the congressional hearing when the CEOs were there, and Mark Zuckerberg gave, as I want to say, an apology. But that wasn't an apology. It was just something for him to try and feel a little better that day.
Your daughter, Selena, as we saw the image of her, very small, bright, beautiful, you described as a ray of sunshine, led into this horrible spiral through social media, the use of social media, as you've just described, a horrible situation. What's your advice to parents who may be seeing the same signs of things that you saw? What would you advise those parents to do, Tammy?
Well, first off, people need to understand that it can be their child. So many people are very quick to say, not my child, or my child is too smart to do that. Well, my child was very smart also, and she still fell into that trap. People really need to pay attention to what their kids are doing. They really need to be involved in their kids' lives in general, not just when it comes to social media or the phones.
Hear what you're saying, Tammy. Thank you so much for sharing this terrible
You're
experience that you've had and you are still living with us. You can hear the pain in your voice and see it etched across your face, but I hope in some way the work you're doing now will begin to give you some kind of perspective on what has happened and help you to build some kind of legacy out of the loss that you have suffered. Thank you for joining us here, Tammy Rodriguez from the Parents Network. Thank you once again. Very difficult testimony to give us, but we do appreciate it. And I'm sure this will help parents maybe who are watching this who have concerns. Tammy, thank you
Yes,
once again.
any
Thank you very much indeed.
who are interested in the Parent Network, that's what we're here for. It's a group of incredible parents that are just here to support each other.
Tammy, thank you. I will give the address out now before we leave this bulletin. Tammy Rodriguez, thank you very much indeed. So if you or a loved one, a child, is affected by the issues that we've been discussing here, you can find advice and support, as Tammy was just saying, on archewell.org/the Parents Network //. We've got that on the screen for you just there. I'll talk a little bit longer whilst you maybe note that down. archewell.org/the Parents Network /. Take that, Google that, put it into the search engine. You'll find the help that you need, we hope. Well, let's hope that some progress is made towards making the online world, the virtual world, a safer place for everybody concerned. You're watching France 24. Do stay with us.